My name is Britt Buckner, she, they, and I am from Asheville, North Carolina. So, growing up where I grew up, mountains everywhere. You know, I was outside most of the time, played a lot of sports. My family was very religious, so church was involved, Southern Baptist. I was in church 3 or 4 times a week, you know. But I really loved being outdoors and just playing with my brother. It was just always my safe space. I never felt like I had to be anyone or anything other than just exist. And that was huge for me because I had a lot of like pressures from everywhere else, especially in the South, you know, to be gender conforming especially. And I was a tomboy, so that had a huge issue. I was pegged pretty early on as, you know, a lesbian before I even knew it. And I feel like that amplified a lot because I was in the South. Otherwise, maybe, you know, I could have figured it out another way. But I was pretty much forced into that early on. So that was hard. I was a sophomore in high school when I officially admitted it. But I had been exploring for years, since middle school. But admitting it was more of an acknowledgement that there were other people like me. Because growing up, I maybe saw one lesbian couple my entire life, and at the time I didn't know that they were lesbian. So my sophomore year, I was able to, I think, you know, older people, it was just influence, and somehow it just clicked. I was like, wow, I think that I might be queer, you know, I might be a lesbian. So that was scary. It was thrilling and scary because I knew exactly what that would do to my family. I mean, they told me from the very beginning, hellfire, damnation, you know, the whole nine, because it's pretty embedded there. I mean, generations, and they've never left the South, much less North Carolina. So, you know, when you don't have that spectrum, that outlook, it can be pretty hard. So my best friend, someone that knew more about me than I cared to admit. And I thought that when I finally said it out loud, it would be affirming for myself, just for her to be a safe space, because she always had been. But I was met with some pretty intense hostility, and just she didn't believe me. So I feel like it might have to do with her own issues, but that scared me back into the closet for at least another year. Because I couldn't, I mean, if my best friend didn't believe me, well then maybe she was right, maybe I'm not. Then a year later, I was doing it again, and I was outed, actually. So that's how it all kind of happened for me. It wasn't necessarily like, all right, I know I'm ready, I'm gonna tell people. It was more, all right, I think I got this, and then bam, you know, everybody knows, and I just found out myself, you know? So I told one person, and then it was like everybody knew, so. Oh man, honestly, I think it's the division that we're facing. All these different LGBTQ, we're supposed to be together, and I feel like we're just becoming more divided. The L's are going this way, the G's are going this way, you know? And at a time where we have so many of our fundamental human rights being questioned, not only in the United States, but all over the world, I think it's the most important thing for us to stick together and build each other up rather than pick apart why you don't fit into the LGBTQ, and we keep adding letters because it is supposed to be inclusive. So I've just seen a lot of people being scared and therefore trying to take care of their own, but they need to realize that this is all our own. We are all fighting for the same thing. So the most pressing thing to me is definitely just acknowledging us being a full community. as cliche as it is, it gets better, but don't put it on a timeline. Make sure that you keep it relative to yourself, because otherwise you're going to put more pressure and more of that negative energy. So you have to have your own plan. And if you have dreams, they may take some more time because you don't have the support system you thought you would, but trust me, you'll get there. I mean, it took me twice as long as what I thought I would do when in my early teens, but I finally did it. You know, my education, being in New York City from the South, like moving to New York City from this small town in North Carolina, like I never thought that I would be here, but I pushed and I endured and I found my family. They're not blood, but I picked them for a reason and I'm here because of them. So that's my biggest thing. Find your friends, find your family, and go after what you want, and you'll get it, for sure. This is huge, and like to be able to see it and see all the people happy about it, and this is a huge move. And if there's hope in paint on stairs, then we can find hope anywhere. I mean, it's that simple. Confidence. To truly accept who I am and to dig deep down, and it's taken me some time to really learn myself, and everyone evolves. I've evolved, especially in my 20s. Wow, it was hard to love myself then, but the confidence that comes from me being me and knowing who I am, it makes everything, because then I can like shine that to everyone else. So I feel like I can reflect that in a lot of people. So they find who they really need to be and they can feel confident, because confidence is very sexy. Very sexy.